Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Let's take a look to see what we have today. Decoupling Russia, the global economy, the new unknown. Western economic sanctions to punish Russia for its invasion of Ukraine heap a new set of unknowable on a global economy already distorted by a coronavirus pandemic and a decade of ultra-cheap money. The bid to exclude from the trading system whole chunk of the world 11th largest economy and supplier of one-sixth of own commodity has no precedent in the globalized age. US to curb electronic export. Sanction unveiled so far will hit Russian banks' business in dollars, euros, pounds, and yen. US export cut will restrict Russian access to electronic and computer, while European capitals and fight turning similar export control and measure to target the energy and transport sector. For now, they won't condemn the Russian economy to anything like isolation. The gas on which Europe depends will keep flowing, and Russia banks will retain access to the SWIFT global bank messaging system. But further punitive measures remain possible, while the key out of conflict and prospective countermeasure by Moscow make it likely there will be some decoupling of the Russian economy and its huge resource. The world sanction and the likelihood of a meaningful retaliation by Russia together will likely cause a material global recessionary shock. Political risk consultancy Erasia Group said in a note, sanctions on Russia bank and trade will likely cause meaningful disruption to global trade and financial relationship with far-reaching effects. The initial impact will be modest, especially after 2 years of COVID-19, which have seen a global recession give way to stimulus fuel growth spurt that create labor shortage, inflation, and global supply chain bottlenecks. 6.1% on global inflation. Oxford Economics said it now sees global inflation this year at 6.1%, up from 5.4%. Citing the impact of sanction, financial market disruption, and higher gas, oil, and food price. While that will add to cost of living worries, Oxford reduced its forecast for global output growth by a modest 0.2 point to 3.8% this year, and by just 0.1 point to 3.4% in 2023. That small dose of stagflation in a headache for central banks trying to reduce stimulus and return-based rate to something like normal after a decade near zero. But for now, the consensus is that a tightening can constantly go ahead. More profound structural change will depend on how the sanction impact plays out time, notably in the domains of commodity, energy, and finance. Even without excluding Russian banks from SWIFT, the mere whiff of a legal consequence for any Western banks found to have breached a sanction could have a chilling effect on business. One specialist on lawyer told Reuters. The same goes for other financial service. Brokers are already being instructed by their compliance and market security committees to cease the use of currently approved Russian insurer and find alternative insurer for new reinsurance policy, said Ben Seppert, senior research analyst at insurance investment advisor Agenda Private Capital. How sanctions will apply to Russia's vast energy and commodity resource remain unclear. Russia supplies 10% of world's oil. Russia produces 10% of global oil and supplies 40% of Europe gas. It is the world's largest grain and fertilizer exporter, top palladium and nickel producer, third largest exporter of coal and of steel, and 50th largest wood exporter. Amrita Sen of Energy Aspect think tank said for now the measure appear to give Russia some leeway. The financial sanctions are designed in a way to allow energy-related payment to continue, he said, adding he's also expected some exemption for metal and agriculture food. We just don't see the West having enough appetite for sanctioning Russia at a time when inflation is already super high and energy and food prices are both elevated. US President Joe Biden has said the sanctions are designed to have a long-term freezing effect on Russia's economy. So how might Moscow respond to that creeping isolation? Its economy ministry said on Friday it had expected the sanction pressure freeze since Russia 2014 annexation of Crimea to intensify, and that it plans to set up trading blocks that could emerge as a viable alternative to Western channels. It could force a company to have two separate supply chains to serve each one. Jacob KYIV at the Germany Marshall Fund said of a development that would reserve decades of attempt to streamline trade channel for efficiency. Further price hike coming after the pandemic era's supply chains problem that could exacerbate price hikes and goods shortages which are hunting the world economy. But whether that becomes structurally higher inflation and long-term scarcity depends on how others react. Optimists argue it could be a wake-up call for other big economies to take a look at their strategic interests and economic weaknesses. Europe will need to suffer increased price for oil and gas because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the resulting Western sanctions, said Hung Chan at the Atlantic Council think tank. If Europe used this moment to truly diversify its energy source, it could insulate itself from future shock planned by the Kremlin. This is the end of our news today. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe for our channel. See you next time.